Today on FullOnDrums.com,
It's all about the 57.
the Shure SM57 is a noble, ubiquitous workhorse that no studio, concert hall, or presidential press conference can do without. Today, we're going to record an entire drum set with nothing but this humble jack of all trades. The 57 has evolved over the years, so before we begin, a little history lesson.
In 1939, Shure Brothers Inc. introduced the Model 55. Famous for its unique Art Deco look, the Model 55 featured the first ever single-element unidirectional dynamic capsule, the Unidyne. In 1951, the smaller Model 55S was released, and within a few years, it was synonymous with rock and roll. Shure developed the much-improved Model 545 in 1959. Its innovative end-address design improved feedback characteristics and allowed the full-range Unidyne 3 capsule to get right up against the sound source. In 1965, the switch was dropped and the housing got a non-reflective gray paint job. The studio microphone Model 57 was born. Unidyne 3 was dropped from the label in 1985, and though Shure maintains there were no major design changes, debate rages on over the merits of old versus new. In 1989, the Beta 57 was added. The Beta featured a redesigned capsule and grille as well as a transformerless output for improved high-end. The output was increased by 4 dB and handling noise was greatly reduced. The Beta 57 was replaced by the Beta 57A in 1996. A transformer was added back into the design, but the Beta 57A retains its predecessor's high output and extended frequency response, with further improvements in feedback rejection and handling noise.
Remember, at FullOnDrums.com, we always post the full bandwidth multi-track audio files of everything you hear for you to download and check out. And now, we begin. When Scott and I decided to take on this challenge, we knew we'd have to do a lot of experimenting. And the first thing we did was figure out how to cheat. We're using a Beta 57A on the kick drum. In order to maximize our low end, we have the mic about 1.5 inches out from the front head, pointed directly in the hole so we still get some snap. On the top of the snare, we're using an original Unidyne 3, about 3.5 inches off the head, just over the rim to get a nice open sound. On the bottom, we're using a current Model 57, about 1 inch below the head. On the hats, we have a current Model 57, about 5 inches up and all the way out towards the edge as far away from the snare as we can get it. For the toms, we're using 2 of the current 57s, a couple inches up off the head, pointing just off center to balance tone and attack. For overheads, we chose to use an original pair of the Unidyne 3s in an XY configuration. They have a little bit more body and presence than the newer 57s. We had a few mics left over, so we threw up a mismatched pair featuring a Beta 57 and a Beta 57A for room mics in an XY configuration all the way at the back of the room. The kick, snare, and toms are all running through Chameleon Labs 7602s, with a little bit of EQ here and there, but no compression. The overheads, hats, and rooms are all running through the Millennia HV3D straight to the computer. And now, let's rock! Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to go to FullOnDrums.com to download the full bandwidth multi-track files of everything you've just heard, including past episodes, interviews, articles, news, and reviews from around the drumosphere. Okay, Scott, you want to tell the folks goodnight?